Have you ever scratched your head and just thought to yourself, how could I possibly make more money when I don't have any time in my schedule to add another class? I'm already so full. My schedule is so full. And I can tell you that I've totally been there. And the answer to this problem is actually quite simple. Now, in this week's episode, I'm going to dive into the secret to making more money with what you already have set up in your business. Now, this really truly isn't about adding more classes or even adding more really to your to do list. It's just about one little simple shift. So, if you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who's with me today. And even if you come back in on the replay, I want to know that as well. So you can drop a hashtag replay and we'll come back in and continue this conversation. And if you'd like to get a copy of today's show notes, drop the word money below and we will absolutely get them over to you. Now, if you know someone who needs to hear this, y'all sprinkle the love around. It's okay. Sharing is caring, right? Sprinkle the love around. And if you somehow stumbled upon us somehow and don't know how you got here, or you saw it and you're like, this is intriguing. I'm Erin Bird, and I support dance studio owners and educators just like you to really grow your businesses by creating your own unique vision of success without the burnout, the overwhelm, or sacrificing your personal life, because you don't have to. And so, my friends, if you're joining me, I want to say hello. Let me know. Drop it below. I want to make sure that it's all working. I want to say hello, hello, hello to you. And we are going to dive into this topic of how to make more money with what you already have. Now, I have to tell you, I used to be guilty of this. And I would think to myself that if I wanted to make more money, I actually would have to do more. I would need to add more classes. I would need to add a new program. I would need to, right? Like I would, hey there, how you doing? Thank you so much for saying hello to me. I love it. Okay, so I used to think that way. I used to think, oh my goodness, to be able to make more money, I've got to add more to my list, add more to my business, add another program, add another, right? And when I went through these three steps, I had this moment. I was working actually with my mentor and my coach at the time because I was getting a little bit frustrated. I kind of had hit this plateau in our business and I felt like we were just coasting along, making the same revenue. And I didn't really know how to correct the problem. I knew that not only were our expenses increasing, but I wanted to make more money. Like, let's be real. I wanted to make more money. And so I was kind of getting frustrated. And so I decided, you know what? I need to bring this up with my coach and my mentor and see what her thoughts were. And we had a really deep conversation about the next three things that I'm going to share with you. And they actually were game changers for me. And as we are getting ready to head into the new year, I want to kind of hit home with some of you that you don't have to do it all. You can make more money in 2023 by just a few little simple tweaks. All right. So let me know in the comments below who wants to make more money in 2023. I do. And I have to tell you that there is absolutely no shame in wanting to make more money. You can't do more if you're poor. I cannot make a bigger impact in my community, in the organizations that I want to support, in for our family. I can't make a bigger impact if we're not making money. You can do more good in the world, and money is just energy. And so, yes, okay, thank you for raising your hand. I want to make more money in 2023. It's not about being greedy. I'm not becoming a billionaire at doing this, but I want to be able to give more and I want to be able to make a bigger impact. And I know that money is that energy transfer, and it will help us do more good in the world, right? So, how are we going to make more money with what we already have? Because if you're like me, you are probably feeling like your schedule is really, really full. And to think, oh my goodness, I'm going to add, another class or another thing, it just could kind of feel overwhelming. And when I started off the top of the show, I told you that I am really passionate about studio owners growing their businesses, creating their own unique vision of success without the overwhelm and the burnout. So, y'all, I'm really passionate about that. So, how do we make more money with what we already have? Are you ready to dive in? Oh, I'm in out. All right. So, let's do this. So, the first thing for us to be able to make more money with what we already have, and it might sound silly, but I want you guys to really take a few moments to do this, to audit what you currently offer. And when I say audit, I mean you need to take a hard look that are on what you're already offering. So I talk a lot about creating a dashboard, and that's something that we do for our current classes. Is we have this dashboard, and we have a formula that tells us in these classes, are we red, yellow, or green? Green, we're super profitable. We're maxed out in capacity. Yellow, we're making a profit. Not maxed out, but we're in an okay spot, right? Red, y'all, stop, don't go. Focus your energy, because if you are in the red, you are not profitable. And does it make sense to continue running those classes? Or what are the actions that we need to take to actually turn that around? And so we can't do that unless we actually know what the numbers are. And I actually had a conversation the other day with a studio owner who is coming in to be part of our community and a client. And I said, well, how are your numbers? Where are you? She said, I'd like to make more money. I said, well, let's talk about your numbers, right? Like, what does that look like? What are your goals? Da, 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 da. I said, how is your enrollment in your classes? And she said, pretty good. Most of our classes, I think, were pretty full. And I said, well, what does that mean? And when we actually looked at the numbers, it was quite shocking to her that she wasn't quite full in the majority of her classes. She was profitable. She had broken past that break even point and she was making a profit. But the numbers, when we looked at the numbers, it was actually quite startling to her. She's like, I didn't realize I had that many classes that weren't where I thought they were. So we have to audit what we currently offer. And this is all of our offers. This isn't just about regular weekly classes. We need to audit if you have a birthday party program. Is it profitable? Does it make sense? Are you making money? Right? If you have merchandise that you sell, that is an offering and you need to audit it. Is the stuff that you're carrying in stock, is it actually selling? Or is it sitting and collecting dust? What do you need to do to move that merchandise? Right? We need to audit every program or every offering that we have and say, when we look at things, is it performing for us or is it below par? But the first step to making more money is auditing what you currently offer. And this is where number 2 ties into this. The second thing is you have to focus on the facts. I talk about facts versus feelings a lot, y'all. I have a whole chapter about it in my book, The Passion and Profit Project, because sometimes we feel certain things, but they really aren't factual, right? And I'm not saying to run your business without heart. But what I am saying is we do need to focus on facts and we need to track and measure. So If we go back to that audit and we see that there are certain classes that are not performing for us and that are in the red, what do we do to rectify that situation? Because you cannot run classes that are losing money, right? It doesn't make sense. And before I know what some of you are thinking, and I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Erin, there's going to be times where we run classes at a loss because, maybe I only have two senior kiddos in my advanced point class, but they've been with me forever. And I just can't bear to not give them that experience, right? Now, I'm not saying axe it, but there is a fine balance. But if you have a tiny talk class that's running at two kids and you're losing money, we need to have a conversation. So either how do we fill that class or what do we need to do? Combine it with another class, right? But we have to focus on what are the facts. What are the facts? How do we fix if we A, are not running at a profitable place from a profitable place, and B, how do we focus our attention on those facts? Again, goes your merchandise, your birthday programs, all your offerings, what are the facts behind them? Not the feelings. Okay? So we have to audit, we have to focus on facts. We have to get real with numbers, which is, I know, can be scary. Let me know in the comments below who loves, we're going to do a 1, 2, 3 because I think sometimes this can be hard. If you love looking at your financials, your data, and your numbers, drop a 1 below. If you're like, ugh, I look at them because I have to, but I don't really love it, and I can't say that I'm a numbers whiz, drop a number 2. If you are not focusing on your financials and the facts and tracking and measuring because A, you don't feel like you know how to or you understand it completely, or B, you don't feel like you have the time to focus on that, drop a 3 below. I would love to know. Because you guys, this is data and tracking for me. I practice what I preach. Track and track your data. 1.5. Some days I enjoy it, but some days not. And here's the thing, totally understand. I could tell you I enjoy it more when I see a number that makes me happy, right? Than a number that I'm like, not so much, right? Okay, so 1.5. I'll let you do a half mark. It's okay. But we have to focus on that, right? And we have to get right with our numbers because we have to focus on facts because the solutions and this simple tweak, it doesn't happen unless we know these things. We've done an audit. You like looking at them when there's okay. I have to share this. Let me tell you, because I am with you, Amy. I like looking at them when there's lots of money coming in, for sure, right? Now, when lots of money may not be rolling in the way that I would love it to, it's not as fun, which makes us not like it as much, right? Oh my goodness, but I'm with you. So we've done an audit. We're focusing on the facts, which do correlate with financials, my friends. And then the third step, which is actually your one simple tweak, is da, 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 leverage and max out your programs. Now, I posted on my personal page the other day. I was so excited for one of my clients. She added 29 new students to her business last week. In 1 week, she added 29 new students. Now, the question came up, well, how do they even do that? Because of costumes, recital fees, all of that. Like, how's that even possible? Now, I am very transparent, you guys. I feel like honesty is the best policy. Yeah, totally amazing, right? 29 new students in 1 week in December. I've had people tell me, oh, Erin, it's December. Nobody buys, nobody enrolls, Christmas, da, 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 da. And that is a feeling, not a fact. The other thing that I will tell you is that while you can have amazing results no matter what time of year it is. Now, sometimes it takes a little outside of the box thinking. And this is where leveraging and maxing out your programs, you have to be willing to think outside the box a little bit. You have to be willing to change or to make some adjustments and shifts to make it work. Because if you have told me, yes, I want to make more money in 2023, yes, I need to increase our revenue, or yes, I need to increase my profit or my salary as an owner, my draw, whatever it is that you're taking. If you've told me that's a priority and a focus and a goal for you, then we have to be willing to adapt and switch and sometimes do things a little bit differently. So if you come to me and say, but we ordered costumes, already, I stop all registration, and someone tell me I stop all registration in October, but they're running on a traditional year, right? Their classes start after Labor Day. So they're only really taking registration for the first 7 weeks, maybe, of their season. And because of costumes and recital. Now, this might come as a rant, but are we not so creative anymore that we can't come up with a solution to bringing a new child into our center or into our studio? Like, if, and can I do, y'all, okay, it is going to turn a little bit into a rant because I want to do math real quick. I'm going to break it down, math kind of gal, and what this meant for this, my studio owner, my client that I worked with. Okay, we're going to break it down. I'm even going to put it in the chat for you guys because I think that it is so important for us to discuss. So, like I told you, she added 29 new students. 29 new students. They're coming once a week, just so you know. Her tuition is $65 a month. Okay, so what does that break down? If I could just, type in things. That is an extra $1,885 for her a month. Now, we're actually going to go ahead then and multiply that by the 6 months that are left in her season. Okay, so that equates to her adding an additional, y'all, $11,310 to her bottom line. Now, could we not try to figure out a solution for these students if it meant you added an extra $11,000 to your bottom line? And this is her maxing out one of her programs. This is her leveraging what she's already doing and adding students in and coming up with a solution to serve them. But if you're so stuck in the fact that I already ordered costumes and it's going to be a headache to try to get them one, or I can't have, not everyone matching, or like, aren't we, I'm sorry, but aren't we able to make something absolutely aren't we creative enough to figure it out and come up with something? I would sure hope so. I don't like the idea of letting, costuming or that sort of thing stop you from really leveraging and maxing out your programs. So, and if you need support with that, we're here to help you. Hello. So, know that. But she added an extra $11,000 by simply allowing 29 new students to join into her business Amazing, right? Solution, we were problem aware. The problem was she didn't have enough students to max out this program. And the solution was let them add and let's figure out a solution for costuming. We made it work. So leverage and max out your current programs. Focus your attention on what you're already doing and leverage it and do it really well. So if you think you have a kick-ass birthday program, birthday party program, but you haven't really leveraged it, and you already have the system in place, you have the staff in place, you have it down like that, but you're not booking and filling out that calendar for birthday parties, focus attention on that. Leverage and max out what you already are currently offering. If you have merchandise that is collecting dust, how can you turn it? Because it's not making you any money sitting on a rack collecting dust where you've already paid for it to be inside your studio space. Right? We have to have a formula and a system for how long do we do things? How long do we hold merchandise for? How long do we run a class at losing where we're, whack, we're losing money before we make a change? So my hope and my goal for most of you is that as you're moving into 2023, we go back to those three things. We audit, we focus on facts, and we leverage and max out what we're doing before we add a whole nother class or a whole nother thing. Now, as we move into 2023, because here's the thing, if you are feeling like you're strapped and you're feeling like, there's no more time, or I do have some clients who their classes are literally at max capacity, there is no space for them to add additional classes because they're confined by their space, right? So there's no place else to put anyone. So then we can go into, well, how do we become more profitable? What is our tuition structure, right? That's a whole nother thing, which I'm not going to dive into today, right? But really, for me, a big shift after I had that talk and we got real on my numbers and focused on facts and talked with my mentor about how do I make more money? We're maxed out, and it was maxed out in time, right? And it was really, Erin, focus on what you already are doing well, that you have systems in place for, that you can recreate over and over and over and over again, and that you could do en masse like that. So focusing on those really did change things for me, and allowed me to really look at the numbers and say, okay, yes, I love having X amount of students in class because we're profitable, but I want to max it out to its fullest. That's where a big shift happened. Now, my friends, I have to tell you, I'm going to go back and we'll do a little recap today, but I want to know, as we're going into the new year, if you had off the top of your head one program, one offering that you wanted to really audit, dive into, and leverage and max out, what would it be? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know that, because what we focus on grows, right? What we focus on grows. And so if we are intentional and we put out there, hey, this is exactly what I know right off the top of my head that I think, hey, I want to go back and I want to audit it. I want to focus on the numbers. I want to go through and do that and spend some time looking at that. You're going to get clarity around it and you're going to see what shifts need to happen. And again, support. We're here for you on that. So drop below, what is the thing? Little people programs. Yes. Y'all know how I feel about those little people programs. They are the foundation to your business, to have people move, those kiddos and students stay with you and grow and grow and grow throughout their time with you. I will tell you guys that in January, our masterclass for for our Empire Builders Club is all about additional revenue streams, bringing in more money. How are we going to do that? And that's in January. That is our masterclass that's happening. And so if you are not part of our Empire Builders Club, y'all, what y'all waiting for? It's literally only $44 a month. And every single month you get not only your live masterclass where we deep dive into teaching, giving you your actionable steps, your action plan of what you need to do, but we also followed up with a live Q&A every single month, where we come back in, we answer your questions. Where are you getting stuck with, let's say in January, adding your additional revenue streams or increasing, maxing out those revenue streams? So you have the support. You get the masterclass where we are teaching you guys. Then we're coming in and doing the live Q&A for you. There's a little Facebook group that's really great, and everybody shares their wins and celebrates and supports each other. So you have community, you have lifelong learning. And my friends, we are going to really be diving into money, the beginning of January, because we need to set ourselves up for success in 2023. So I would love to invite you, if you are not part of our Empire Builders Club, to take a quick gander at it, see what it is. And if you have questions, absolutely hit me up, shoot me a message, and I would love to talk to you about our Empire Builders Club, if it's a perfect fit, or if you need additional support and coaching through one of our other programs. We have other programs that we can support you with. So know that, but I always want to let you know what is coming up. And we're talking about money in January during our additional revenue streams. And going back into this, like really looking at how do you leverage these, how do you maximize them, and giving you a game plan on how to exactly do that. So let's go ahead, and I love it. Okay, so Little People Programs, thank you for claiming it. I love it. Now, if Little People Programs is your goal, do you want to share with us, like this is a safe space, do you want to share with us how many new students would you love to see in the first quarter of 2023 going into your Little People programs? I would love to know. Let me know. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we are going to do our speedy recap today. Because in case you're coming in on the replay or you're just now catching us, I want you to know the big bullet points. And then you can come back, and if you want to get into the nitty gritty, you can follow up with that as well. So, y'all, are we ready for the speedy recap? Let's go. All right. So how do we make more money with what we already have? Y'all, this is not about adding more to your to-do list. This is not about adding more classes. This is really about maximizing what you're already doing inside your studio. And the first thing that we have to do is we actually have to audit what we currently offer. This is not just about your classes. This is about all of your offerings. Are you offering birthday parties, merchandise? Are you offering solos, privates? Are you offering, do you have a competitive team? We need to audit what we are currently offering as we are moving into the new year, so we can create a game plan of how do we tweak these to increase our revenue, to increase our bottom line, to increase our profit. And then we can create a plan also as to what is our top focus and what's going to give us the best return on investment of our time and our energy. The second thing is then we have to focus on the facts, not the feelings. What is actually happening inside of our business, right? What's actually happening inside of our business? We have to focus on the facts. That means sometimes we have to get right with our numbers, but focus on the facts and how they tie in. The third thing, my friends, that we then need to do is once we've audited, we focused on the facts, now we need to take and leverage and max out those programs. It can mean a huge difference in your bottom line. My friends, when I did simple math for you, we showed how one of my clients last week added 29 new students to her business, which equates to an extra $11,000 this season to her bottom line. It's pretty, I mean, I would take an extra 11,000. That's a good vacation for me and my family, right? Right? So leverage out and max out those programs. Don't worry about creating something new, creating a new offering, creating. I know we're creatives and we love to create, but stop it for a moment. Let's focus on what we're already doing. Let's be realistic and audit and say, are we doing them well? What can we tweak? What needs to shift to really grow this? How do we maximize on what the foundation we've already laid? Let's build upon that foundation. Let's build our house. Let's build our empire on what we already have created. Once we max and leverage out all of those programs, then we can talk about adding new and creating new. But why not focus on what we're already doing and just max it out and leverage it, right? Oh my goodness, I love this. Big, hairy, audacious goals. I love me some big, hairy, audacious goals. So, can we celebrate? 12 is her big, audacious, scary goal to completely fill her roster for 12. So, you can do it. You know you can do it. It is so good. And I love that you're sharing it. Thank you. So, my friends, let's just go back to the whole idea. If you want to make more money, but you don't want to add additional things to your schedule, to your to-do list, then we absolutely have to focus on, well, what are we already doing? And we have to really leverage those and max out those programs. It is absolutely the key. And if you are coming in and you want to continue to learn, to get some support, to know what it is that you need to focus on to be proactive instead of reactive, then I want to invite you to be part of our Empire Builders Club. My friends, like I said, it is only $44 a month, but the amount of value that you get inside of the Empire Builders Club is absolutely amazing, with your monthly masterclass, your live Q&A, where you get to ask all your questions to me and my team, and the support inside of our private Facebook community. It's a great place to really get support, focus on what we need to look at as we move into 2023, and what we need to really get some clarity around as we're moving through the year. And so, y'all, I hope that this has shifted maybe your perception on what it is that we need to do to make more money. It's not always about creating brand new. It's not. It actually is about, what do we have that's established, that if we just focused our energy on maxing out, leveraging, sending our messaging out about that particular thing, how it could grow, and you could hit those big, hairy, audacious goals. That's what it's about. I love creating. Y'all know that. I love dreaming up and taking action and bringing things to life. I do. But how do we look at what is working, what is not working, and then we go from there, and we have to have a plan. So, my friends, I hope that this shifted something for you, that you were able to get a little bit of clarity around what it is that you want to focus on as we are rounding out the end of this year and getting you set up for success as you move into 2023. What is it that you're going to focus on? What are you going to leverage and max out? Because that's what we do. Yes. So, yes, right? That is how we are going to move forward. So, my friends, I hope that this was valuable for you today. And I want you to know that I will be back next week, same time, same place. And we are going to share with you more strategy, mindset, business tips and tricks to hopefully fill your heart with a little bit of joy and to really allow you to get some clarity on your intention and your objective as you move into the new year. So I'm going to leave you there. I'm Erin Bird. I am your hostess with the mostest, and I work with dance studio owners and educators just like you to grow those businesses and really give you the life of your dreams, because you deserve it, my friends. I'm going to leave you there. Have a fantastic week, and I hope to see you all in the Empire Builders Club. Bye, y'all.